Mr. Anchia.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just to follow up on Chairman Turner's line of questioning, I wanted to understand the math that's in your slide on page 9. And I'm sure there's a simple explanation for it, but if you could help me decipher the numbers. So we've got 57.8 miles of wall have been installed as of the end of last month. Then you've got easements secured, 106 easements secured, representing another 75 miles. So
The 57 is included in the 75.
Oh, I see.
Right,
I
yeah.
see. So it's not in
Yeah.
addition to.
Yeah, we formatted this in a dozen different ways.
Right.
And it seems like different folks that we report to like it in a different way. So we just have to kind of guess the best way of doing this. But I bet that answers your question, doesn't it?
It does. It
Yeah.
does. Because I was thinking, well, that adds up to about 130, but we're only going to deliver 85. And so my question was, are you going to deliver 80 more than 80? Or there's an additional delivery after December 2026.
Right.
But
Let me give it
but
to
it
you.
is inclusive of that 57.
Yeah, let me give it to you in a little bit different format here,
Okay.
and this might help you. So we've completed 57.8 miles done, okay?
Yep.
We have an additional mileage under construction right now of 12.8 miles, under construction right
That
now
makes
in
sense to me
11
now.
different sites. And then we've got some easements closed, awaiting for us to start construction of 4.6 miles. So the way we put it a lot of times is that in a perfect world right now, sitting here this morning, we're at 75.2 miles that we can build. But we can go to 85, which we will with the current appropriation.
I follow. And I see the image here. I toured the border wall earlier this session. It shows that it's not contiguous, right? The wall that we're looking at has pretty significant gaps in it. It is not planned to be contiguous either, right? It is designed to, I guess, funnel people to certain areas, to certain openings.
It's a combination of everything you just mentioned.
Yeah.
Because you got 1,250 miles of border for Texas, and some of it would be in a category of natural barrier. You get to the Big Bend area. Some of it, I won't get into all the stats with you, but there was some previous wall built. It may not be of the stature and the size of what we're doing under the Bush administration. And there was some wall built during the Trump administration. Again, some of that was repairs of existing walls. So you kind of see it's a mixed bag. But our
And some
goal
of it's private too, right? There's also that private stainless
yeah,
steel
that
wall.
was that was a
that we
one-off deal
toured.
that we had nothing to do with.
No, I know.
Yeah,
That one was done on private property.
You're right. Yeah.
Shines in the sun, right?
You are well informed and
Yeah,
have a great
yeah.
memory. Yes. So let me clarify too. The goal is to be as contiguous as we can, and I will tell you that if we got what we got on our plate right now, maybe in the pipeline, if we were to be appropriating and could do, say, a little bit north of 100 and some odd miles right now, I think that this current scenario is very achievable. I can't guarantee it, but we would have like 70 miles of that contiguous. Okay, and yeah, this is a program. It's like when I first got involved with it, was asked to head this up. You can't call this a project, Representative. It's not a project. This is a program.
Sure.
And we had to literally, our agency with what, as I said earlier, maybe range of 500 FTEs, we had to, from scratch, we had to replace the entire U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. And we're proud of what we've done. I mean, in 3 years, we've built up a very organized and efficient system with all the checks and balances. And, we're, as far as I'm concerned, we're outperforming what the Corps of Engineers did.
Excellent. And so I toured the wall. That tour was sponsored by the GLO. Was that executed, however, by the Facilities Commission?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
we built that
So
wall.
they called it the GLO wall, but there must have been some sort of interlocal agreement that you all had with them, or some sort of services agreement so that you would execute that program,
Yes, that's
right?
correct.
Okay.
For some context, so when we started from scratch with this program, one of the things you would obviously do is, well, let's scan what properties Texas already owns, because that would get us started faster, more efficiently, more cost-effective for the state. And there was a site that the GLO had back, I'm talking about 3 years ago, and it was in Starr County, and that's where we did our first mile and a half. And what was unique about that, it was farmland, okay, not the rough canyon type things we're doing, further down the river or up the river. But so you're still getting revenue. The GLO, that was a GLO site. You're still getting revenue for the school land board because we're not interrupting the farming operation. You can still farm. So it was a perfect scenario. So the site that you visited has some very similar, similar circumstances there. So we built the wall, but that's a GLO site.
Got it. So on the total build out, you estimate that given appropriation, you could build out 100 miles?
Yeah, we think we
wall.
could get north of 100 with appropriations
And then
for
the
that.
total length of the border is 1,200?
Right.
And so if you've got some natural barriers in there, it
And
represents.
some existing wall.
And some existing wall
right.
represents about 10%, you
Right.
think, about are my maths right?
Yeah, and early on, since this was a scratch start for everybody, there was discussion, again, like with DPS, we let them call the shots on priorities, that maybe out of the 1,200, maybe, at the pace that policy allows, that the most you would ever do anyway would probably be 600 or somewhere in that range. I'm giving just, a range of that.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good to understand what the wall is and what it isn't, because there are people who are not from Texas or from Texas who never go to the valley or go to the border, and they think it is 1,200 miles of wall with no gaps in it. And it's not. It's designed to funnel in some areas, in some limited areas, really less than 10% of the border, funnel people into a certain area. So it's just always helpful to have this dialogue to separate the fact from the myth. So
Yes, sir, I do it
I'm
every
always
day.
grateful.
Yeah, every
Thank
day.
you.
It's just a complicated program.
Yeah.
What I tell people sometimes, just on a note here, is that we talked about the mall and award-winning international acclaim out here that you can see, and how complicated that was. There's 5 stories of underground parking underneath that. Okay, all of that is amateur hour compared to the wall. That's how complicated the wall is, without any doubt.